If someone asked me the question, doesn't science disprove God? I would probably respond to them by saying, well, what do you mean by that? Science itself is the study of the physical world through observations and tests. Since it only covers that, there are limits to what science can discover. You can't prove that your spouse loves you with science. You can't prove that Abraham Lincoln existed with science. You can't even prove that good and evil exist with science. There are plenty of things we know that exist, but science itself can never discover that. God, as described in the Bible, is not only the creator of the universe, but is also invisible and immaterial. So how can you use science to disprove the existence of God? How can you use a tool which is only concerned with the seen to disprove the unseen? Here's an analogy I've heard that I like to use. Say you're on the beach and your friend comes up to you and says, "Hey, look at this amazing metal detector I've got. It accurately detects 100% of all metal lying around the beach. I've scanned the whole place with this thing and I haven't found a single shred of plastic with this thing. Plastic must not exist." We can all agree that his line of reasoning is wrong because he's trying to use a metal detector to disprove the existence of plastic. So if someone uses science, which is limited to the physical world we can observe right now, to disprove a creator who is invisible and non-material, I think it's safe to say they're not using the right tools for that kind of question. In fact, if we're really going on into what I think about science, I think our modern achievements in science have actually helped to support the existence of God by giving evidence to lines of reasoning that have theological implications. And here's what I mean by that. Take, for example, that the universe began to exist. Science has had a really helpful hand in proving that. The second law of thermodynamics and Edwin Hubble's discovery of the redshift in light from distant galaxies have given us empirical evidence that the universe sprang into being from a single point in the past. The universe is made of time, space, and matter, so science is showing us that all of that began to exist at one point in the past. If it began to exist, what caused it to exist? The universe can't create itself, so its creator needs to be beyond the physical universe. Whatever it is, it needs to be timeless, spaceless, and immaterial. What fits that description? God. So my point is, far be it from science to disprove God's existence. First of all, it isn't even the right tool to prove such a thing, but what it does do is provide evidence to lines of reasoning that have theological implications. The fact is that a person can be very comfortable affirming both science and God. So when someone asks me if science can disprove God, I simply reply by asking, what do you mean by that?